Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk about something I haven't really talked about before, and that is Warmachine. Before I get into this box set that I've purchased, I want to just quickly do a little bit of background, and that is that I have collected Warhammer 40,000 since 2nd edition, and I have also had Age of Sigmar since it first came out. Why am I telling you this? Well, it's because apart from this little guy here, I have never painted a miniature that isn't from Games Workshop. This guy is Sir Coats-a-Lot, and I got him when I signed up for the Wave 2 Kickstarter for Two Thin Coats, and he's quite fun to paint. He's quite a good looking little model as well. The only other resin models I've ever painted have been from Forge World, or if you want to count Finecast, I did a few of those, but actually I didn't do very much Finecast. During all this time, in the Games Workshop hobby, I suppose you would call it, rather than the broader miniature hobby, I have constantly kept myself involved in looking at and knowing what's going on with other companies. And one of the main ones has always been Privateer Press's Warmachine. Back in the day when I was first into Warhammer, that was the main competitor as far as I could see. Lots of people did Warmachine, and it was really a force to be reckoned with as like the next game after Games Workshop's main ones. Since then, they've had a bit of a decline, and now they have been purchased by Steamforged Games. So no longer Privateer Press. Many of you have probably all seen that in the hobby news going back over, I think it's about a year now, a year and a half, maybe two. Time tends to fly. And the thing that put me off getting a Warmachine model before was that they were metal. I never really enjoyed making metal models. I had the unfortunate experience of the first one that I tried. They were all to do with orcs. The arms constantly fell off. They were too heavy to sustain themselves, and they were a real pain to work with. Then they moved into 3D printed models, and I'm not 100% sure on those yet, but I've seen some videos recently, and actually they're starting to look really good now. But this box set is plastic, and that's what drew me in. They'd done a box set before this with the two most well-known factions, Khador and one beginning with C, which I cannot remember off the top of my head now. But for me, they were just a bit too generic steampunk, futuristic, kind of too close to Warhammer 40,000. These guys got my attention, and so I decided that I would go online and buy myself a box of plastic Warmachine models for the first time ever. What really lured me in? Dragons. Dragons in armor. So this box set contains two forces that you can use. One is the Khymaera. The other are these really cool ogre sharky pirate guys. I think they're called the Southern Kriels. I'm not really into the gaming side of what Warmachine offers, but I am interested in the lore and the models. Also in the box, you get a piece of paper. This piece of paper is unique in the fact that Warmachine's rules are all online for free if you're interested in that. Their building instructions are also all online as downloadable PDFs. I think they're probably also in their app as well. They're very keen for you to use their app. And so they are able to keep the price of their box set down because it's not a true two-player starter set. It just has two forces in it. You have to supply, as it tells you on the box, dice, a ruler or tape measure, measuring device, and tokens, as that is what it says you will need to play the game. It gives you the models, but the rules and everything else all online in their app. I'm not sure how I feel about being forced to use an app if I want to use the rules. They do have a physical book coming out that contains them, and I can see the advantage of a living rule set. However, I'm a bit old school and I like to physically own copies of stuff. But let's get back to the contents of the box. So, you get a bag full of bases, one for each side. You get a sandwich bag full of sprues. There's about 4 for each side. And of course, a sprue is a sprue if you're familiar with almost any miniature game that is made in plastic. I've only made a few of the models so far, my favourite being this big war beast, which is a dragon in armour for the Khymaera. Reminds me a lot of the Cyber Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! And the interesting thing is, they're like Games Workshop plastics, but they're a bit chunkier. They're a bit, I don't really know the descriptions as such, but they feel chunkier, they feel less fiddlier, maybe a little bit less defined in their details, but they are still high quality and they're very good and they are detailed, just not as detailed as a Games Workshop miniature. But then we've had debates before, are Games Workshop miniatures becoming to the point where they are over detailed? I think these are going to paint up absolutely great. As a size comparison for the models that you get, this is the big kind of beast that you get, and this is an ordinary troop. And then the character models and solos, as they call them, they are kind of in between in their sizing. I haven't built any of the solos yet, only the 3 little guys that come in the box set for the Khymaera and the big war beast. They do seem to be a larger scale than the Games Workshop miniatures, and that's not really a bad thing. The Games Workshop can be a little bit small for new painters. These models are fantastic for if you don't have great brush control yet. There's quite a lot of large flat areas that you can paint, such as the armour, and a lot of detail on the organic parts where dry brushing or contrast paints, for example, will pick out really nicely. And that's kind of my initial thoughts on the box set and Warmachine as a whole. As I said, I've been very into the lore and watching from afar, and I've finally taken the dive into owning some models. And if these paint up nicely, I think I may even try some of their resin ones as well. Are these 2-player box sets a good starting point? They're not called starter sets because they don't contain everything you need to start. You can just start by going to their website and looking on their app. You can proxy models, or you can buy models individually or in groups. So this isn't a starter set. I think they call it a battle pack. It contains 2 forces and you just go online and get the instructions. I'm still slightly unsure about the full online nature of it, but perhaps that is the future of the hobby. But I am very excited to see where this Warmachine journey goes, and I will document it all on this channel. Don't panic, there will still be my normal Warhammer content, and I've never really considered myself a Warhammer channel. I'm more of a hobby channel, so I will be posing the questions that I've always wanted to pose and answering and talking about the stuff that interests me and hopefully interests you. I'll come back and give an update once I've got these painted, but for now, let me know down in the comments, what games do you play that aren't from Games Workshop, and what do you think of Warmachine, and especially, are you happy with the idea of everything going online or in an app that you need to play the game?